Hello, thank you all for coming for what is the start of our training camp, but also some big news today. And we thank you all for showing the interest in the Ottawa Senators. Merci, bienvenue d'être ici aujourd'hui pour le début du camp d'entraînement pour des grosses nouvelles pour l'organisation des Sénateurs et pour montrer votre intérêt dans les Sénateurs. Before we start, we would like to thank Erik Karlsson for his contribution to the team and to the community. Avant de commencer, nous aimerions remercier Erik Karlsson pour ses contributions à l'équipe et à la communauté. As I mentioned yesterday, we began this rebuild last year in February. Our objective is to build a younger, faster, stronger team that will play more consistent hockey year in and year out. To do so, we will preserve a core group of veterans, good leaders, while tapping into the young elite NHL talent that will embrace our culture, our character, our chemistry that we want to build in the locker room for a long haul. Building for this future success also means strategic choices about the present. I'm here today to announce the most important decision in our multi-year rebuild for the Ottawa Senators. One of us sets with a really promising future, and today's deal with San Jose delivers multiple key pieces in our rebuild. 1 first-round pick, 1 second-round pick, 2 top-end prospects in Josh Norris and Rudolph Balcers. Josh Norris was a first-round pick in 2017. Rudolph Balcers led the San Jose Barracudas in scoring in his rookie season. 2 current roster players, in Chris Tierney and Dylan DeMello. All these in exchange for Erik Karlsson and Francis Pierre. We know that Erik is an exceptional hockey player whose skill delighted our fans for the past 9 years. We thank him again for his dedication, and we wish him all the best in San Jose. At the same time, this is the right moment for us to rebuild our team, shape our future with all these core pieces, while adding faster, younger, and more competitive team on the ice. This trade represents the best opportunity for the Ottawa Senators to rebuild towards a consistent excellence that we are striving for. We look forward to introducing our new players and providing our fans, our partners, with more information when we get to the Fan Fest on September 16th. In the meantime, I'm really excited to talk to you about this trade today and what our future holds moving forward.
Pierre, Dan Sagan with CBC. Erik made it pretty clear that this was not what he wanted. He loved Ottawa, wanted to stay in Ottawa. When and why did you decide, or the organization decide, that it was time to move forward from Erik Karlsson and not make him a part of the rebuild?
Well, obviously, we've had this plan in place when I met with Mr. Melnick in February. This was our plan decided by our hockey operations group, which I'm at the lead of, or at the head of. And Erik Karlsson was probably going to gather the best return in a possible rebuild. Well, this was not an easy situation for us to trade a player of Erik Karlsson's caliber. But for us to be where we need to be for the long term in this rebuild, we had to make this decision at this point in time.
Pierre from TSN. So did you then have no intention of re-signing Erik Karlsson on July 1st when you offered him the contract? If in February your intention was to move on?
No, when we talked at the town halls, we made it clear that we were going to, whether Erik Karlsson was going to be here or not, we were going to make him a contract offer. At the same time, you need core veterans to be part of your rebuild. We've discussed with some of them, and some of them are aware of the process that we're going through. And Erik was a piece that we felt would garner the best and possible return for us to have a successful rebuild.
Lisa Wallace, Canadian Press. How do you sell to your fan base that you just traded a 2-time Norris Trophy winner, 5-time scoring leader of your team and make them believe that this is the right choice?
Well, what we've told our fans is what we started by telling them yesterday. Right now we're in a rebuild. We want to be a cup contending team year after year. We just don't want to have the inconsistencies that we've had in the past 10 years of making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. Erik Karlsson, for what it seemed like, was probably going to be here for just another year. What we did today was make sure that our rebuild was going to be as successful as possible.
Pierre, Ken Warren, Ottawa Citizen, Ottawa Sun. Are you concerned? Like, you talk about core veterans leading the youth. That the existing core veterans, you know, that maybe they'll be, I don't want to use that bad word here, disposable or whatever when the time comes and their contracts are up. What happens? Are you worried about their reaction to what happened to Karlsson today?
I'm not sure I get that, Ken.
You're going to build core veterans to lead the youth, right?
Yes.
But you get guys in a position that Karlsson is in today that maybe they worry about their long-term future here.
I think if you're inquiring where contract negotiations are, we don't talk about it. We've talked to every core veteran on this team, and they're very well aware of the rebuild. They're very well aware that they also want to be part of a consistent winning team and the direction we're going in. I don't think it caught any of the core veterans by surprise when we announced this the other day, because we've talked to them through the course of the summer. So they're very well aware, and we will leave it up to their choice if they want to be part of it, but most of them, they want to be part of it. They want to be part of leading this rebuild also.
Pierre, you had a player in the last year of his contract, and you made an offer, and he didn't sign. Did you get a sense that it was inevitable that he was going to move on, that he wanted to move on?
We've been around for a long time, Terry, you and I. We all know when you get to a certain point, and it's probably best for all parties to move on. And for the benefit of this organization, for the benefit of the rebuild, for the succession of the rebuild, I think today we made the proper decision. I think Erik wanted to go to a place where he was going to have a chance to win, and we acquired the quantity and quality pieces that will allow us to have a successful rebuild.
Salut Pierre, en français, Jonathan Jobin de Radio-Canada. Comment tu peux convaincre tes partisans aujourd'hui que le retour que tu as obtenu est le meilleur que tu pouvais avoir?
Pour nous, les Sénateurs, c'est définitivement le meilleur retour qu'on avait sur la table. Pour nous, les joueurs qu'on amène dans l'organisation, en plus des choix au repêchage, signifie une cuvée quand même très bonne pour nous. On est très satisfait de 4 joueurs et des 2 choix de repêchage et la possibilité d'avoir 2 autres choix. Donc, en plus d'avoir un bon bassin de très bons jeunes joueurs, si on a vu nos joueurs recrues jouer à Montréal en fin de semaine, on a vu qu'on a des très bons jeunes prospects. En plus de cela, si on ajoute ce qu'on a ajouté aujourd'hui pour le présent et le futur, on est très content avec le retour.
Encore en français, Jean-Christophe Bertrand de RDS. Combien de temps ça peut prendre, la reconstruction, avant justement d'avoir une équipe qui peut aspirer à la Coupe Stanley année après année?
Je pense que lors d'une reconstruction, c'est pas... Il ne faut pas mettre un nombre d'années, de mois d'années. On doit laisser les choses tomber d'une façon naturelle. Et puis, on a un bon noyau de vétérans. On a un excellent groupe de jeunes joueurs qui va pouvoir jouer dans notre alignement dès cette année, l'année d'après et l'année d'ensuite. Et je pense qu'on est sur la bonne voie pour avoir une reconstruction qui va apporter du succès.
Pierre, si on souscrit à la théorie qu'un échange, ça se gagne en étant le meilleur joueur, c'est difficile de le gagner avec un Erik Karlsson qui part. C'est qui l'espoir te donne le plus qui te permet de penser que vous pourriez gagner cette transaction-là?
Pour nous, les deux espoirs qu'on a eus dans l'échange sont pour nous ces deux espoirs de premier plan. Lorsqu'on parle de Josh Norris, and I can repeat in English after, c'est quelqu'un qui joue dans les trois zones, c'est quelqu'un qui est un bon patineur, fort physiquement, qui a une bonne présence sur la glace, quelqu'un qui a un bon lancer, bon sens de hockey, qui est agressif sur la rondelle, qui fait des bons jeux. Nos dépisteurs pensent qu'il a frappé une coche de l'année passée à cette année. Qu'est-ce qu'ils ont vu cet été quand il a joué pour l'équipe junior américaine? C'est quelqu'un qui, au Michigan, joue sur l'avantage numérique, désavantage numérique. C'est quelqu'un qui, à sa première année au collège, il a eu 20 points en 31 matchs. C'est quelqu'un qu'on voit qui va faire partie intégrale de notre futur ici à Ottawa. Et l'autre prospect qu'on aime autant, c'est Rudolph Balser. C'est quelqu'un qui est dynamique, qui a pu produire 22 buts à sa saison recrue. C'est quelqu'un qui est très vite, un bon lancer, bonne habileté offensive, qui veut la rondelle, qui joue avec beaucoup d'émotion pour pouvoir compter offensivement. Just probably should elaborate on this. The two pieces that were really, obviously the two NHL players are two players that we feel are on the up. If you look at what Chris Turney has done year after year, we feel that he's just hitting his peak. He's a center. He's someone that had obviously his best point total last year. He's someone that we feel will play and contribute and help us win on our top three lines. We feel Dylan DeMello is someone that will step in as a right-hand shot defenseman and who brings good intangibles, competes, brings a defensive presence. But what we're also excited about is the two prospects that we acquired in this deal. We feel these two guys are two top-end prospects. And for having these two guys join our organization is really something that we're really excited about. I'd like to talk to you both about Josh Norris and Rudolph Balser because I feel they're key components in this deal. For us, Josh Norris was picked in the first round 2 years ago. He's a three-zone player. He's a complete player. He's a great skater. He's strong on the puck. He's got a good shot. He's got good offensive hockey sense. He's got really good defensive hockey sense. We find it's an asset. He's really strong off the cycle. Our scouts had a chance to see him as recently as the World Junior Showcase in Kamloops and feel that he's taken a step in his game. Our scouts see him as a complete player. I've had the chance to see this player play for Michigan last year and at the same time play at the World Junior last year. He's someone that at Michigan plays the power play and the penalty killing. On a very good college team, he's someone that had 20 points in 31 games, and the year previously to that on the under-18 team had a point a game. We really like this player. And on top of that, all for your knowledge, if I'm not mistaken, I shook his hand at the draft this upcoming year because he's Brady Tkachuk's best friend, and he was in our suite at the draft. When it comes to Rudolph Balsers, we feel that it's someone who's a dynamic, skilled scoring winger. 22 goals as a rookie in the American League is a pretty special accomplishment. We felt and we know that he was San Jose's best prospect in the minors after a year. Great hockey sense, wants the puck, wants to score. He's driven offensively, great release on his shot, and we all know how the importance of scoring goals is. So these two players that we acquired on top of the two NHL players that will play as soon as October 4th comes around, on top of having a first rounder and a second rounder and possibility of adding two other first rounders depending on the conditions of the trade, we feel that we're extremely happy with the return for a very good player in Erik Karlsson.
Pierre, I'd like to ask you, touched on it in French, but your thoughts on maybe how long you expect this rebuild to take before you have a team that's competitive, and also would it be your wish to have Matt Duchesne and Mark Stone lead that rebuild?
When it comes to rebuilds, we don't want to quantify it. I think when you quantify the number of years that it could take you, expectations could fall short. We're going to let our players dictate the course of how long the rebuild will be. The thing that's exciting about our rebuild is this organization has never been deeper in young prospects and never been deeper in quantity, but on top of that, quality of young prospects. And when it comes to the other question, Dan, all I can tell you is both Matt Duchesne and Mark Stone care a lot about this organization. We know that they want the Ottawa Senators to win. They love it both in Ottawa. And we'll just let nature take its course to see what happens in the future.
One more, Pierre. Last topic on the roster question.
Do you have an update on Pajot, as we heard he was injured today? And
Yes.
could he be out any extended amount of time?
We will find out tomorrow morning on Jean Gabriel. That's great.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow I will update you with a proper update. Yeah. Yes.
I'm Mike Couture with Global National. Erik seemed to indicate that he wanted to stay. You're saying that you think he was only going to be here for a year. At any point, did he ask you for a trade in reference to you saying that you think he wanted to go somewhere to win a cup?
Well, obviously, in answering that, we're part of a rebuild here. I think Erik knew that. Erik knew the direction that we were going to go. Erik never asked for a trade. Let's be clear on that. But in the direction that we were going, we felt for our rebuild to be successful that this was the best path for both parties.
On that note, we'll wrap today. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you. Thank you all.